Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is One of One, but you can call me Seven, and we just learned some crazy things about CERN. The whole conspiracy that Rintaro has been raving on about that he obviously knows he's just been making up in his head is actually real. The Council of 300, I think it is, those are our actual villains, our actual real-life supervillains. And now Makize, Daru, and Rintaro are all figuring it out for themselves after hacking into the CERN servers once again, this time with a server admin's ID. So let's see what happens next. So they've just seen evidence about CERN doing human experimentation and it failing and people dying. So the mood is a little somber. I want to know that it's true. I can't stop now. Time travel theory for the Z program, okay. CERN should have better security. We're just a bunch of dudes. But it's good that we're finding it out. But also, I'm trying to remember now. I have to, it's been a little bit since I played, so I have to remember like years that things happened, when they sent people, when CERN claims to have done things, and then when things actually happened in this timeline, because that's actually going to be really important, I think, knowing what happens when, in which timeline, so I can point out contradictions and what's different. Ah, shoot. Security's fine, I'm just too good. This is my favorite right arm. My favorite right arm. I thought he was your super hacker. Yeah, he is. Hacker. So what does it say, Christina? Kerr black holes? This is in English too, so I have no choice but to rely on my assistant. I need some time. Kirusu's eyes dart left and right across the lines. Her earlier reluctance has vanished. It looks like she's as curious as I am. No way. But this is... Is Titer really John Titer? Tell me what it says. Right. This feels like one big joke. What do you mean? It's almost the same as Titer's theory. Basically, the LHC smashes protons together at 99.9999991% the speed of light. By doing so, they compress a mass of 10 to the negative 24th kilograms into an extremely tiny space. 3 lines max. A very small mass. Correct. With great force. That explanation's too vague. Proton compression, okay. Right, successful compression generates a microsingularity, which... Not a mini black hole? Same thing, essentially. A singularity is the core of a black hole. This process generates a black hole with 2 microsingularities. A black hole with 2 cores? Like a cowlick with 2 hairs? No, I don't think that's it. Explain with cute girls. Say there are 2 cute girls. Meek-chan and Kuro. She's like, alright, I'll speak your language. Shut up, Daru. You can make them do whatever you want. So you force them to rotate at an extremely high velocity. And then, theoretically, Meek-chan and Kuro-chan transform into magical girl ring singularity. Yeah, a transformation scene, okay. Well, it looks like these two have found a common wavelength. The resulting black hole exhibits what's called the Kerr effect. What are Kerr black holes anyway? You said they spin, well what does that mean? Exactly what it sounds like. There's a whirlpool around the hole. Yeah, it's just surrounding matter being sucked into the black hole. It's just a point where extreme mass causes gravitational collapse, everything falls towards it. Oh yeah, it's not an actual object, it's just a point in space, so it doesn't spin. Has a ring at its center. Think of it like this. One's transformed into magical girls, Meek-chan and Kuro-chan's hearts spin like a ring inside their bodies, which is impossible for normal people. Before, you said that such a black hole's existence would be impossible to prove. What did you mean? Yeah, an event horizon. Once you pass the event horizon, time and space switch places. That's really hard to conceptualize. But we can't move even 1 minute into the past. That becomes reversed. On the other side of the event horizon, moving freely through space becomes impossible, while moving freely through time becomes possible. Okay. Yeah, it's really hard to fathom. Since unrestricted spatial movement is impossible, you can never escape a black hole. For example, if Okabe jumped into a black hole, time for him would stretch to infinity. Since light cannot escape, human eyes cannot see the other side of the event horizon. Observing a black hole from the outside is impossible, so nothing about the inside can be proven. There is an exception, however. This exception is vital when you use a curved black hole for time travel. The curved black hole's ring singularity. Since it's spinning, it has angular momentum. So, how the core spins, just think of that as having momentum. If you keep giving Michan and Crochan electrons, they'll rotate faster and faster. And when their angular momentum exceeds a certain threshold, the event horizon will disappear and the singularity will become a naked singularity. Okay. Oh, not the right thing. I need to go to the tips list. A singularity is usually concealed by its event horizon, which renders observation impossible. A naked singularity is a singularity whose event horizon has been removed. It can therefore be observed and even traveled through. The existence of naked singularities is purely theoretical. Okay, that makes sense. You mean it becomes observable? Yeah. When the event horizon disappears, there's no more reason for time and space to change places, meaning that you can enter a naked singularity without being trapped. And then the existence of the naked singularity allows the principle of causality to be violated and the general theory of relativity to fail. The laws of physics are broken. I mean, the negation of the theory of relativity and the principle of causality means serious paradoxes can occur. Didn't Kurisu say that earlier? Nothing in principle stops curved black holes from existing. It seems inconsistent, but the math never lies. Since the principle of causality fails, it would be possible to travel to the past by entering a naked singularity. John Titor said the same thing, so Titor's time machine is using CERN's technology. But Titor's time machine was compact, small enough to fit into a car. The LHC is 27 kilometers long, but they managed to get it down to travel size in just 24 years. One thing I did, well, okay. I mean how they inject electrons into the singularity. I don't know where actual physics in the real world meets the physics of this game because I know that there's definitely some actual physics at play here, but then where do we cross the realm into fantasy, into sci-fi? When does that happen? And also, no, we just keep going. Those questions I have questions for later. Look, this is a picture of the LHC, but there's strange equipment installed at the proton collision site. It looks like they call it a lifter, but just what is it? Have you heard of it? I think I saw that in the Z program files when I Google it. Dato opens up a browser window and enters lifter into a search engine. Okay. 422,000 results. Yeah, I guess it's not a secret. Ionocraft? Ions are charged particles, the meaning matches, okay? I gotta follow here. I gotta think real hard. It takes us to a video. Looks like some dim garage, but it doesn't seem like anything secretive, just a garage like you'd see in an average American home. At the center of the screen is a triangular shape made of some kind of metal. It looks about 10 centimeters high and about 30 centimeters wide. It's connected to some sort of generator by a thin wire. Looks like some really cheap equipment. That's all there is. Oh, we're on YouTube, nothing else. After explaining something in some language I don't understand, Russian maybe, the person filming the video slowly turns the power on, and then it's floating. The silver triangle floats soundlessly into the air, then it remains stationary. That's an anti-grav device. Don't be ridiculous, that would be the breakthrough of the century. It's called an ionocraft, so it probably has something to do with electrodes and charged air. Okay. Kurisu doesn't sound as confident as she usually does. We look up information on the ionocraft lifter. Lots of sites have detailed instructions on how to make lifters, but I don't know how they work since the sites all give conflicting theories. It's a vital component of their time machine, yeah? If they can manipulate a microsingularity's mass and gravitational field, then these things really are anti-gravity devices. Well, under these exact conditions, I guess you might not be entirely wrong. Incredible! My curiosity is growing more by the second, but don't forget what's at stake here. People's lives, they're experimenting on people, and it's bad. Having trouble adjusting their lifter. They don't have full control over the microsingularity's gravity, so they can't make a true naked singularity. That must be the reason why the subjects turned into jelly men. Okay. Since the singularity is still closed, the subject is crushed by its tremendous gravity, so they kind of get there, but the lifter isn't adjusted correctly, which means that instead of a full naked singularity that you could go through without any repercussions to your physical or like material body, you kind of get halfway there and then the event horizon, like, you know, time stretches into infinity, you get crushed at least halfway, okay. As a result, substances become fractalized. Let's go with that hypothesis. Of course, there's no way to be sure that it's right. It might take months to prove. Kurisu shrugs her shoulders in resignation. So CERN's lifter is still incomplete. If Taito's telling the truth, then CERN won't complete their time machine for another 24 years. If we can complete the phone wave first, then we'll have outwitted CERN? Yeah, we don't have half the equipment or funding. What makes you think you can solve a problem that they can't? This isn't that simple. CERN still hasn't figured out how to set the subject's destination in time or space. Obviously. Yeah. That should be evident by how scattered the Jellymen discoveries were. We don't even know if this is all of them. There could be Jellymen buried underground or floating in space. Actually, I'm almost certain there are. There's no point traveling through time if you end up in tens of thousands of kilometers away from the Earth. It's not practical at all. Taito said he had a variable gravity lock system. He could use that to lock into Earth's gravity and ensure that he arrives somewhere on the planet's surface. It was vague, sure. He mentioned having such a device, but he didn't explain how it worked. But if you're only moving through time, wouldn't you just arrive in the same location? Of course not, because the Earth is spinning? Why not? Yeah, because the Earth is always moving. Correct. Right, rotation and revolution. The Earth's rotational velocity is about 1650 kilometers per hour. Its orbital velocity around the sun is about 114,000 kilometers per hour. Meaning 1 hour ago, we were that far away from where we are now. Yeah, we aren't going very fast. And that's not all. The solar system is part of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way spins like a giant whirlpool. There are various theories, but basically the Earth moves about 50 million kilometers a day. How can she roll all those numbers so smoothly off her tongue? I get that she's a genius, but it's hardly common knowledge. Has she been doing research on the topic? Yes, most certainly, especially probably because her dad was looking into it and then it screwed him over, but she's never lost her appetite for it. And in fact, maybe this is a way for her to like, I don't know. Actually, I don't want to speculate about how she feels about her family. We'll find that out soon enough, I'm sure. It's kind of gotten to a ludicrous scale. Yeah, a little bit. By the way, the Milky Way is part of a large cluster of galaxies, which is itself part of an even larger supercluster. And these clusters and superclusters might be moving too. If that's the case, we're moving even more. Yeah. Oh. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, that's also not what I wanted to do. Ah, shoot. There we go. Hold on. Kurisu first. The point is that setting the destination would require insane calculations, even if you only want to travel 1 second into the past. So how are they going to figure this out? Because obviously, they're going to fix this somehow. They are going to, through all of these scientific problems, actually find a solution. How are they going to do something that is not insanely convoluted and keeps us engaged with what is going on in the game? Also, we have to keep in mind that I think Rintaro is in a different timeline and he doesn't know it yet. Remember how everyone's like, oh, John Titor, he never like showed up like years ago, like, and he seems to be the only one that knows about that? I think that they are he went into a different timeline and he still hasn't acknowledged that. Anyway, Ferris, have you bought Phantasm's debut single, theme song, Rhynette, really popular, Rhynetter. There's an important secret hidden in Phantasm's songs. The key to unlocking it is blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm aware they are said to contain directions to the sanctuary. Okay. Theme song, another part of Operation Stupidify Humanity, and I feel a strong... Oh, it's just because you like her. Oh, this is just their way of communicating. Yeah, this is just their way of communicating. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll play with one of these. There we go. Yay. Oh. Okay. Doing it by hand is impossible, and it might take years for a supercomputer to come up with a solution just to get you to the same location. Then we have no choice. We need to find Titor and borrow his variable gravity system. Well, instead of finding a way to work around the problem and fix it, that works too, you know? Great idea, go for it. I wonder how CERN is dealing with this problem. They're not. They're killing people. After blowing me off, Kurisu goes back to reading CERN's documents. Daru and I aren't good with English, so there's nothing we can do but let her work. Dawn breaks. We stayed up all night again. Fighting drowsiness, I refill my mug with instant coffee. I've already lost count of how many I've had. Oh man, this is getting really complex. Okabe. Kurisu hands her mug to me without looking away from the computer. I guess she expects me to refill it. Since when did I become her maid? She should ask Mayuri for stuff like this. Mayuri's a professional maid after all. That said, Kurisu's the one reading CERN's documents right now. Daru and I can manage if we use translation software, but we're nowhere near as efficient as she is. While it's not exactly what I had in mind when I said I wanted to borrow her knowledge, it just goes to show that I was right to make her a lab mem. She's an asset to the lab. For now, at least, I should try not to upset her. No, you should just be nice because she's cool and you like her. Shut up. And also, she's really smart. I silently take the mug from Kurisu, dump in the powdered coffee, and pour in hot water from the pot. 2 packets of sugar, no milk. Kurisu has already requested it the same way 5 times today. Oh, wow. Okay. I mix it well and bring it over to Kurisu. She doesn't immediately realize I'm standing behind her, so I hold the mug in front of her face. Takes it without turning. Arigato. Thanks. They never leave the screen. She's completely absorbed in CERN's research. Even though she was adamant when she called them traitors to scientists everywhere, she's not above picking their brains. But I understand how she feels. I'm itching to know more myself. Daru was fast asleep on the sofa. His snoring is quite loud. Furthermore, it sounds like he has sleep apnea. I'm surprised Kurisu has been able to ignore it. Is she just that focused? Yeah, probably. I decide to watch some TV. As always, the news channels are all covering the Radicon satellite crash. It's still happening, yeah. 5 days have passed. With the start of the summer season, vacation season, crowds are gathering to get a glimpse of the satellite, which still has not been removed. Came from Nagoya. Saitama. Chiba. From all over Japan are flocking to this location. Michael Burns, spokesman for NASA, stated that no satellite had crashed in Japan and that the crashed object was, in fact, not even a satellite. The satellite is currently under police investigation. No date for removal has been set. Is it really under investigation? This is, Suzuha. I'm so hungry I had to skip breakfast again today. I don't have much money on hand. Are there any good places to find insects or weeds around here? I can get by using my survival skills if I have to. You eat insects? Hardcore. What kind of childhood did you have? That's the question I'm gonna ask. Golly. She's so weird. I need to figure out what's up with her. This could be another plot by the organization. Oh, hey, Mayuri. Good morning. Yeah, konnichiwa. Hi. The door unlocks from outside, and Mayuri comes in. She has a convenience store bag in hand, as always. There are various food items inside, but it doesn't look like they're for us. The air in here is so thick. The 3 of us probably look pretty haggard since we stayed up all night. But it's hard to put on a bright smile now that I know about CERN. What are you gonna do, open the window? Opens the window wide. The sky is so blue it hurts my eyes. Large clouds listlessly drift on the wind. It truly is a refreshing sight. Mayuri's appearance makes Daru get up with a grimace. Kurisu also finally moves away from the computer, sipping her hot coffee while rubbing her eyes. I glance at the clock, then go to the center of the room and call for attention. Since all lab members are present and accounted for, this is the perfect opportunity to hold another roundtable conference. Roundabout confluence? Close enough, man. A meeting, yeah, come on, guys. Have we ever done that before? No. Do we even have a round table? No. Not physically. However, it exists in the hearts of all lab members. Am I mistaken? Yes, you're mistaken. Don't go sticking things in people's hearts. Is there one in Mayushi too? A round table in Mayushi? Of course there is. Oh, that's good, but what's a roundable? And why a round table? You King Arthur? I'm only a temporary lab. Man, they're just tearing him apart. These people whine about every little thing. Well, it's your fault for making stuff up, buddy. Oh, we can see Rintaro. For once. So first, let's explain the situation to her. Oh, she's eating onigiri. I could go for some right now. Tell her about everything. About how CERN is making a time machine. About jelly men. About how men in black might be coming to race us for what we know. I told you you shouldn't do bad things. We are bad? Absurd. If we're bad, then CERN is even worse. They aren't satisfied with ruling the world. Now they want to get their hands on space-time itself. I agree. For some reason, Kurisu backs me up. What CERN is doing is unforgivable. They're traitors to humanity, to society, and to science. That's a statement. Whoa. I guess. She doesn't sound convinced. I don't want to get Mayuri involved, but she's surprisingly perceptive. She'd find out even if we kept it a secret, so it's better to just tell her. The final battle with Stern is near. I don't know about that. A large part of me is still afraid, but we've come too far to turn back now. We can't unlearn what we know that's true. Mighty, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What have you learned? I don't remember being ordered, but whatever. There are two problems Stern faces with time travel. First is the electron injection device, also known as a lifter. Unless they get it to function properly, they can't make the curved black hole singularities naked, or completely naked, I guess. If you send a test subject through the singularity in its current state, the supergravity compresses them to the micro level. Naturally, there's no way to survive. The second problem is that they can't specify a physical destination. They can't choose where they end up after traveling to the past, okay? That's why I'd say the 14 found jellymen were the lucky ones.
2001年から100回以上行われていた。つまり残りの80人以上はどこへ飛ばされたのかすら確認できていない。100 human experiments have been performed since 2001. The remaining 80 or so people ended up somewhere they can't be found. Jesus.
なんで確認できないの?
Because they're not on Earth.
マユシ、そんなことも知らんの? 地球は常に動いてるんだよ。
Daughter's tone is authoritative, but he's just relaying what he heard from Kurisu last night. Hey, at least he remembered it. CERN has been looking for solutions, but it's not going well. So even CERN is having difficulties? Now then, have you learned anything that can help us complete the phone wave? No. Or maybe she has? Stares at the ceiling in thought. Well, I suppose you could call the LHC the world's largest microwave oven. There's a miniature LHC. Okay, we need to find John Titor. I think he was right about that. He might be onto something there. I was sure she denied. In fact, I thought she'd yell at me. But instead, she agreed with me. Throws me off a little. However, there are too many things we don't know about the phone wave. Why did the same phenomena that occur in CERN's time machine also occur in that tiny little microwave? Unlike the LHC, this thing wasn't made for time travel. It was made to warm Mayushi's chicken! Well, yeah. You're not wrong. Since the Jellyman phenomenon occurs with the phone wave, Mayuri's bananas must be reaching the curved black hole's ring singularity. It makes a black hole here. It won't suck us in, will it? Dude, me too, man. If it sucked us in, we'd become Jellymen too. I'd be worried about it too, to be honest. But we still haven't figured out the electric discharge phenomenon or the conditions required to cause it. During our experiments earlier, we were only able to send emails to the past during the discharge. Although it hasn't happened again, that discharge phenomenon could very well signify the injection of charge, that is, electrons. Yes, that's true. And only when it occurs does the path to the singularity open. We don't know the cause of the discharge phenomenon, that's true. That's what we need to find out. In the first place, the emails we're sending to the past are digital data, not physical objects. That's a definite difference from CERN's time machine. No, we're doing the same thing. Who's to say that digital data can't go through singularity? I think it would be easier than sending something human-sized. I guess, yeah. You know, the way you guys talk about email, it makes me think of folding a letter into a paper airplane and making it go zoom, you know? She might be onto something. It's more like a beam of light, like optical digital data. By the way, it's a pain to keep saying email sent to the past. Let's give it a proper name. I've got a bad feeling about this. What's that supposed to mean? You dare mock? You're a baka. You just want to give it some oddball name, don't you? How rude. Heed me. I shall name the phenomenon of email sent to the past as follows. Honestly, that's kind of dope. I don't know. A lot of the other names have been really cringe, but Nostalgia Drive kind of goes hard. I'm not gonna lie. Confusing. Rejected. Also, it is kind of confusing, yeah. You're just an assistant. Then why don't we take a vote? All in favor of Nostalgia Drive. My hand shoots into the air, but nobody follows suit. Daru Mayuri! You traitors. Rish-chan's right. It's too hard for Mayuri or Mayushi to remember. Okay, what is her response? So we said, what kind of childhood did you have? And Suzuha goes, you don't want to know, Lamau? I feel like, I don't know, guys. I'm getting the vibe that Amane is dangerous, like truly dangerous. She's scary. Ugh. Let's hear alternatives. Yeah, what have you guys got? It's an email that regresses through time, so how about retro mail? That's sick. That's dope, actually. What does retro mean? Mayuri is busy eating strawberry jelly. How can she eat that stuff after hearing about Jellymen? Yeah, I'd be a little... Sounds like you have your answer, Christina. You said it should be easy to understand, but it wasn't easy to understand at all, was it?
それはまゆりさんが
Because Mayuri-san is what?
なんでもない
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
もしかして今
Were you about to say because Mayuri's dumb?
違う
Oh no! Be nice to Mayuri, please!
クリスちゃん
No! 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 No!
バカだと思って
No!
思ってない
I don't! I promise I don't, okay?
誤解し
Somehow,
ないで
somehow Kurisu manages to glare at me even while soothing Mayuri.
時をかけるメールの一択だ
I
ろ
vote the male who leapt through time.
少し表現が
That's too stiff, it's hard to say.
オカリンのノスタルなんとかだって十分長いじゃんか
Oh, come on, dude. It wasn't that bad. Mine makes a movie title reference.
ロマンがあればいいのだ
That's not cool, it needs to be cool.
そんな理由で却下かよ
あ、トゥットゥルーマユシも
What's your idea, Mayushi?
あのね
How about back to the...
トゥザメール映画のタイトルとねメールを
I kinda like it.
マユシ
I already did the movie joke, Mayushi.
それに
Besides, I think the meaning is a little
意味が
off.
微妙に違ってきてると思う
Yeah, mail to the future, but our emails go to the past. Yeah, it's whatever.
意味とか
It's not about the meaning. I took a movie title and changed a word to mail.
いずれにせよ
Either way, it's too long. Guys, come on, just come up with something. DeLorean mail.
メールかさっぱり
That doesn't even say what kind of email it is.
ねえこんなくだらないことに時間取
Yeah,
ってる場合じゃない
abbreviate
で
it
し
to
ょ
D-mail and move on.
もういっそのこと略して
いやしかし
But that's
それでは
boring.
味気なさすぎるというか
味気なか
I
ろう
don't
が
care if
味
it's
気があろう
boring.
がどうで
Shot
もいい
down. Kurisu's influence in the lab seems to have grown significantly these past few days.
じゃあ D メールに決定します
Okay. Mayuri, finished with her jelly, proclaims insatisfaction. When did Mayuri become the moderator? So D-mail isn't short for DeLorean mail, as in like Back to the Future. Alright, whatever.
現象が起きるん
So why does the D-mail phenomenon occur?
リングと食い点
Because the
への
path
道が
through the ring
開いている
singularity is open. We've been over this already.
ブラックホー
We
ル
don't
が
know if
発
there's
生して
actually
い
a
る
black
の
hole
か
at
どう
work
か
here.
は
It
確
could be an
認で
entirely
きてい
different
ない
phenomenon that just happens to resemble CERN's experiments. That's also true.
焦って結論を出
We
す
have
の
no
は危険よ
evidence and no data either. It's dangerous to jump to conclusions. Why so timid?
お前は
Don't you want our time travel experiments to succeed? That's why we put our lives on the line to hack CERN.
今語るべきは
What we need to figure out is how to turn the phone wave into a usable time machine.
でもさ僕たちにできると思う
It's a good question. Is it possible?
できるかどうかではない
There is no think only do.
何よその精神
Did you
論
read that off a
至上主義
motivational poster? You're like the classic incompetent boss.
まあそもそも
Well, it's not like Okadin's the boss
い
anyway.
かにも
I'm the symbol of this lab, not the boss.
象徴だかなん
I
だ
don't know
か
what
知
you
ら
mean
な
by
いけど
symbol, but how do you plan to turn the
どう
phone
やっ
wave
て
into a
電話
time
レンジ
machine?
を
Let's
タイ
have
ムマシンとし
details.
て使えるようにするか
解放
My plan, alright, there is
放
one
電現象
thing.
が起きるか起き
We've
ない
been
か
thinking that the electrical discharge happens at random, but I have a
どういう
hypothesis.
こと
Which is, I look at my watch, it's past noon.
発生条件の
Recall the conditions when it occurred, Christina. We experimented through the night with no results, but there's one variable we overlooked, the simplest, most definitive variable of all.
すなわち
That is, the time of the occurrence.
過去2回の放電
I checked the times of the two previous occurrences.
それによれば
When I accidentally sent the first email to Dada's phone, it happened between noon and 1 p.m.
そして
The second time, when all four of us observed
俺たち
the
4人
D-mail,
全
it
員
was
が
6
目
p.m.
撃した D つまり
All four of us observed the D-mail. So if we perform the experiment within that time frame, we might be able to reproduce that
あるい
effect.
は再現
早速やってみましょう
Okay, let's try it right now. Kurusu bolts into the development room, suddenly bursting with enthusiasm. I mean, it's a,
してもこの助手
yeah, it's some variable, like, so, you know, something we can change, something we can control. Let's try it. I just hope they don't
マユシ
have things burst into our guy's shop downstairs. Gotta buy more bananas. Only one banana remains untouched. We gotta get rid of the jellified bananas, and then we ate the rest. We got rid of the jellified bananas, and then we ate the rest.
ごめんねまゆりさん
Sorry, Mighty-san.
後で新しいバ
We'll
ナナ
buy you some more.
オカリンやダルク
Dada could eat my bananas, but they never buy new ones. I'll be sure to amend that in the future. A bunch of bananas is a small price to pay in order to bring chaos to the world. Kurusu picks the last banana off the stem, leans under the table, and places it in the microwave.
まずはゼリーマンになるか試してみる
If it'll become a jelly man. She tries to get up and gloriously bangs her head underneath the table.
ロ
Ow!
ジックアピールはよせ
Trying for the clumsy girl appeal?
したら
It was an accident! Kurisu gets up, blushing in embarrassment with tears in her eyes. Yeah, because it
この
hurt.
レンジの配置なんとかしろ
Well,
危ないしめんどくさい
it's because it goes through the floor, man. You gotta be careful.
床に穴が開いてしまうから
Yeah.
クリスちゃんクリス
Oh, she's trying to help her.
飛んでけ
Mighty pats the back of Kurisu's head, then sweeps her hand through the air.
サンクス
Kurisu pulls herself together, types on her phone, and activates the phone wave. Okay. Kurisu, who's peering into the microwave, suddenly shouts in surprise. The banana has vanished. At the exact same moment, the banana reappears on its stem, jellified.
ゲルバナ
Okay, we're on to something. The critical variable was time. I was a little anxious about the result, but it all worked
やは
out.
り俺の予想通り
I outwitted the impertinent genius
時間帯だ
girl.
ったな
Whatever, man. Way to go, Okabe. It was so simple, I
あ
didn't
まり
notice
に
it.
単純すぎて
Kurisu says with a slightly sulky expression.
悔しいのか
Your praise does you credit, Christina, but I know you're frustrated you didn't think of it first.
それより
Anyway, let's see if we can send another
再
D
現
mail.
できるかについても確認しないと
Kurisu ignores my proud laughter and excitedly starts typing out a mail.
この法を
I feel like my authority's been on the decline since that girl showed up.
クリスティーナのせいでどんどん
It's cool, man. You never had any to begin with.
いいからそこの男子
Help me,
2
you
人
two.
手伝
Okabe, I'm
って
sending an email to your
岡
phone.
部あんたの携帯に
When
メ
did
ール送るから
I become her assistant? Yeah, it's because she was always more qualified. Anyway, I grind my teeth in frustration, but I do as I'm told and insert my phone into the phone wave slot.
ねえねえクリス
What are you gonna send?
なんて送る
Marty presses up against Kurisu and sneaks a peek at Kurisu's phone.
別に意味
It
の
doesn't
あ
matter
る
what
文
it
章であ
says.
る必
What
要
matters is
はな
whether we
い
can send it or not.
送り
Let me see.
どれ
Okabe is an airhead.
待て
Wait,
この女子
what are you typing?
そうね
You'll see.
Jimmy.
Ready? I'm sending it.
送るわよ
Daru has already set the microwave's timer through the X68000. There's nothing inside, but the microwave still operates. The countdown starts from 120. This is where the timing counts. We know that we have to open the microwave door during operation, but we still don't know when to send the mail. For now, we'll do them simultaneously. Kurisu readies her finger on her phone's send button, and I grasp the microwave's door handle. Mighty seeks cover.
じゃあカウントするぜ
The microwave timer soon indicates 70.
3 2 1 0
Kurisu presses send, and at nearly the same instant, I open the microwave door. There we go. Okay, it worked. It's working! It's working, you guys! Lightning crackles in the air. The cushion underneath the phone wave collapses under the weight. The floor starts creaking. It's exactly like the discharge phenomenon that occurred before. It's because of the weight, right? If this is actually creating a black hole, or at least some kind of microsingularity, it's gotta be, yeah, it's gotta punch through the floor, I know it. The discharge lasts for about 10 seconds, and after it subsides, we stare at the phone wave with bated breath. Luckily, it didn't break through the floor. Oh, okay, good. It's much more controlled this time.
メール届いた
Did it arrive? I disconnect my phone from the phone wave and check my mail. Kurisu stands beside me and peers at the screen. Oh my god. There's an email there, 2 of them even, and they're written in English. Is it because there are 2 cores? Is that why the emails get split? Because that's something that they haven't addressed. The email is never finished, and there's always some information missing. Or in this case, it's just split into 2. The timestamps are from 5 seconds ago. Kurisu starts laughing when she sees the mail, even though she's the one who wrote it. The Okabe in the first one is obviously my name. But what does airhead in the second one mean? My English is shaky. Is she saying my head can fly or something? Whatever, I may not know what it means, but I do know this. My assistant is making fun of me, but that doesn't matter right now.
クリスティーナ
Did you
お前
send
はメモ
2?
2通送る
No, only 1.
送っ
マユシーも見たよ
Mayoshi saw it too. She really only sent 1.
しかし2通
But I
受信
received
している
2.
そうね
You're right, I even sent it in 1 sentence, but it got divided.
ちなみにこの文章の意味
By the way, what does this word mean?
自分で調べる
Why don't you look it up? I guess she doesn't want to answer.
そういえば
That reminds me, the D mail from before was cut up mid-sentence too. Yes.
そう
Was
そう
it?
そう
Your history, I'm pretty sure I said Okarin's a perv. Man, they're all like
オカリンは変態って
talking about Okarin. Yeah, it does. From Daru. Oh, Irv. And Okarin. Okarin's up. Okay.
確かに
You're right, this one got
こ
split
ちらも
too.
2つに分割
何が原因
I wonder what's causing it.
ゼリーマン
Maybe it's related to the jelly men.
でも
Maya, she wants to know why it arrived 5 days ago.
確かに
Didn't the last one also arrive 5 days before we sent it? Yes, that seems to be the common time. 5 days before. Yeah, it did. Is there some kind of rule for when it arrives? Let's try sending more. No, we gotta be careful because we'll break through the floor. Now that we figured out how to send emails, we should keep experimenting and collect as much data as we can. Battle stations. He's at it again. Our mission, to send as many emails as possible. Man the X68000, your job is to observe, adjust, and gather information on the phone wave. Keep those emails coming, try various patterns of text, Japanese, English, full width, half width, emoticons, the actual messages don't matter. I'm sure Shining Finger would be better for the job, but since she's not a lab ma'am, I'll leave it to Kurisu. Who the hell is Shining Finger? What about Mayushi? As you go shopping, just buy some bananas for now. I, Yoi, and Kyoma shall fund you. You're so generous! So I guess your job is opening the microwave. You saved the easiest job for yourself? My assistant's judgment is sound. The key to a successful email is most likely the correct timing of opening the microwave door. I was just kidding. Furthermore, the current operation is top secret. You must not leak it to anyone. Got it? The others are ignoring me, but Mayuri nods. Operation what? Don't need one, let's start. But you ruined my climactic scene! I wonder when he's gonna start acting normal. When the stakes get really, really high and they can't handle it anymore? I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe one of them has to die first. Well, technically, one of them did. Damn you, assistant, this is an outrage. Oh. Afterwards, the D-mail experiment, its name is Operation Erd, though I lost my chance to announce it, continues for 2 hours. Why is it called Operation Erd? The eldest of the 3 Norns in Norse mythology. The 3 sisters tend the world tree, Yggdrasil, which has roots in Erd's fountain. Erd is the Norn of the past. Okay, cool. That's actually kind of sick. During that time, every D-mail goes back in time without a hitch. Now it's time to take a break. We're all hungry, and except for Mayuri, we've been up since last night. I'm gonna have a go at it a little longer. She's been going at it for hours and she's still full of energy. It's hard to believe she was so opposed to time travel research before. Her scientist blood must be on fire. We've made a number of discoveries, but we can wait to assess them until after we eat. Daru and I leave the 2 girls to watch over the lab as we go shopping at the convenience store. Okay. With all of that out of the way, heavy science and whatnot, I think that's a good place to end it. There's a lot going on here, and I think it's only gonna get more complex, but so far, I'm in it. I hope you guys are in it too. That's all the time that I have for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I definitely did, and I will see you in the next video. So for now, have a good rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye!
Thank you.